Hello and welcome to Verdict 2014, your daily dose of all the election news in poll-bound Jharkhand and Jammu and Kashmir. I'm Ishan Russell and these are the headlines we're tracking right now. BJP chief Amit Shah addresses voters in Jharkhand, calls rivals Ram Leela party who can't give a stable government in the state. Congress President Sonia Gandhi canvasses for the party candidates in Jammu and Anantnag, salutes voters for defying terror threats. And security has been tightened around border areas in Jammu. Terror hideout busted in a joint operation in the Doda district. The top story tonight comes from the campaign trail in Jharkhand, where BJP President Amit Shah addressed 4 rallies, 2 each in Giridih and Devghar. His message for vote for a stable and single-party government. Now, these districts go to the polls in the 4th phase, that's on the 14th of December.
BJP President Amit Shah has asked the people of Jharkhand to vote for a stable government in the state. At a rally in Giridih, Shah said the people of the state could stop the perennial rise and fall of governments if they voted for the BJP.
चलने वाली सरकार भारतीय जनता पार्टी दे सकती है और कोई नहीं दे सकता.
He also promised development of the state. Jharkhand boasts of the country's biggest coal and iron reserves, but the state has lagged in development.
मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाने आया हूं कि भाई नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में भारतीय जनता पार्टी झारखंड को देश का नंबर 1 राज्य बनाकर छोड़ेगी मित्रों, नंबर 1 राज्य.
Jharkhand has seen 9 governments in the 14 years of its existence, with 3 spells of president's rule. He also referred to the opposition RJD, JDU, Congress and Left as the Ram Leela party, warning people that though some parties were contesting separately, they would come together after elections. The ruling JMM is contesting the ongoing assembly polls alone, while Congress, RJD and JDU have formed an alliance.
अभी चुनाव के मैदान के अंदर काफी लोग अलग अलग दिखाई पड़ते हैं. कांग्रेस पार्टी अलग लड़ रही है, गुरुजी अलग लड़ रहे हैं ना अलग. बाबूलाल ने एक नई दुकान खुली हुई है. ये माले वाले अलग लड़ रहे हैं. नीतीश और लालू अलग मोर्चा खोले हुए हैं. मगर जैसे ही अपने गांव में रामलीला होती है तो कोई लक्ष्मण बनता है, कोई हनुमान बनता है, कोई सीता बनता है. मगर जैसे ही रामलीला खत्म होती है वो अपने मूल नाम पर वापस आ जाता है ना. आ जाता है नहीं आ जाता है. चुनाव समाप्त होने के साथ ही ये बाबूलाल, गुरुजी, कांग्रेस, नीतीश, लालू, आले, माले सब इकट्ठा हो जाएंगे.
Maoists have called for a poll boycott in the state. However, this has not deterred voters from coming out in large numbers. More than 60% voters cast their franchise in the first 3 phases. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, Congress President Sonia Gandhi today led her party's campaign in Jammu and Kashmir, addressing 2 well-attended rallies in Jammu and Anantnag. Canvassing for a party candidate, Sonia sought votes in the name of secularism.
Leading her party's campaign in Jammu and Kashmir, Congress President Sonia Gandhi addressed 2 rallies in Anantnag and Jammu, saluting voters for taking part in the assembly polls despite the overwhelming terror threat facing them. She blamed coalition compulsions for failure to implement people-friendly programs in Jammu and Kashmir.
बहुत से काम चाहते हुए भी कांग्रेस पार्टी इसीलिए नहीं कर पाए क्योंकि दूसरों पर निर्भर रहना पड़ता था. हम जम्मू कश्मीर में फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट लागू करने पर जोर देते रहे, लेकिन कामयाब नहीं हो पाए.
She also targeted the ruling Omar Abdullah-led National Conference government, insisting that relief work during the 2005 earthquake was much faster.
कुछ साल पहले यहाँ जलजला आया था, कश्मीर में जलजला आया था. गुलाम नबी आजाद जी मुख्यमंत्री थे. तब हमारी सरकार ने तेजी से राहत पहुंचाने में दिन रात एक कर दिए थे। अलग अलग राज्यों से कार्यकर्ता यहाँ पहुंचकर आपके साथ, मीर साहब के साथ, आप सभी के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर हर मुमकिन मदद पहुंचाए।
Gandhi appealed to people to maintain the secular character of Kashmir while appealing to them to vote for the Congress. Kashmir saw 58% voter turnout in the third phase and 72% polling in the first two phases. The fourth phase is due on 14th of December. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
And staying with Jammu and Kashmir, security has been tightened around the border areas in Jammu ahead of the final phase of polling on the 20th of December. Nearly 20,000 security personnel were deployed in Jammu, especially in the sensitive areas. All the polling stations will have paramilitary forces to check likely infiltration by militants. Jammu district has most of the sensitive and hypersensitive polling stations along the line of actual control. The fourth and the fifth phase of polling will be held on the 14th and the 20th of December, respectively. And arms and ammunition were recovered today from the Doda district in Jammu and Kashmir. Security personnel uncovered a militant hideout as well. They recovered a 303 rifle, a country-made pistol, 324 rounds of AK-47 ammunition, 9 sniper rounds and 4 grenades. 437 polling stations in the Jammu district are declared sensitive and hypersensitive, and security has been tightened to ward off checks on infiltration and attacks. Now, once a prosperous industrial area, Nissa constituency in Jharkhand's Dhanbad district is now a shadow of its former self. Struggling mine-based industries have multiplied unemployment problems in the area. People complain that unionism was the reason behind the crumbling industries in this constituency.
Dhanbad, a district surrounded by rich mineral reserves of coal and iron. Bordering West Bengal, this district is one of the few most industrialized regions of Jharkhand. Nissa constituency in this district was once home to several mine-based industries, especially hard coke plants based on coal mines. But all that is past now. People allege lack of employment opportunities here. Several industries have shut down, mostly because of union and labor problems.
बड़ा जो भी कंपनी फैक्ट्रियां थी वो सभी बंद हो गई। यहाँ राजनेता आपस का लड़ाई के कारण ये सब में चेष्टा भी नहीं रखते हैं।
स्थिति बहुत ही खराब है। सब फैक्ट्री यहाँ बंद, कल कारखाने सब बंद होते जा रहे हैं।
However, the sitting MLA Arup Chatterjee has denied such allegations. He claims that he has addressed the issue of unemployment. Former Minister Aparna Sen Gupta also claimed to have done a lot for the region during her tenure.
जनता की जो भी मांगे हैं उसको पूरी करते आए हुए हैं। जनता के हर सुख दुख में हम लोग खड़े हुए हैं।
कार्यकाल में जो विकास है हमने किए और वो जनता के सामने है। हमारा सोच, हमारा विकास जनता के सामने है।
But for people of Nissa, development remains a key issue in this election. Nissa will be voting in the fourth phase of elections on December 14th. Close to 3 lakh people are expected to cast ballot to choose a new leader. Bureau Report, Rajya TV.
Well, there can be few bigger threats to a population than a perpetual fire raging just meters deep across the town. And just that is the case in Rajya and Dhanbad district. Governments and promises have come and gone, but little has changed here. Life is about living under a permanent cloud of danger.
Every once in a while, once a week or so, the blaze that rages just below the surface flares up, raising havoc, often disaster and death. And that's besides the perpetual effects on air, water and land. Smoke from these fires contains poisonous gases such as oxides and dioxides of carbon, nitrogen and sulfur. Particulate matter causes several lung and skin diseases. The people of Jharkhand, down several generations now, have learned to live with it. Successive governments have promised steps to douse the flames and make the surroundings more livable. Some people have even been relocated. But the state of things leaves a lot to be desired.
50 साल की गैस जो निकल रहा है यहाँ पे, हम लोग गर्मी में इतना तप रहे हैं मगर ये बीसीएल को ध्यान नहीं है और बीसीएल ये चाहते हैं कि यहाँ से जितना जल्दी हो सके हम लोग यहाँ से चले जाए और ऐसा जगह दे रहे हैं जहाँ पर जानवर रहना पसंद नहीं करेंगे।
वही आग है कब का हो जाएगा, सब अंदर चले जाएंगे, का होगा, खतरा की जगह है, कोई जगह बढ़िया देख के मतलब हम लोग का वहाँ अपना घर दिया जाए कि हम लोग बाल बच्चा सुख शांति से रहें।
Close to 1.5 lakh people are still to be moved out. Bharat Coking Coal Limited, BCCL, has even set up a township for the displaced people in neighbouring Belgaria town. But officials say the evacuation process is slow and full of hold-ups.
डेफिनेटली बीसीसीएल को खराब लगता है और खराब लगेगा। बीसीसीएल इस प्रकार की घटना ना घटे इसकी पहल करने के लिए हर एक को पास अपील करता है, चाहे वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट हो, चाहे वो वहाँ का मजदूर हो, चाहे वहाँ का रहने वाला हो।
It's not as if the administration hasn't had time to shift the people. Jharya's coal mine fires have been raging since the 1920s. There are about 20 fire spots covering an area of about 17 square kilometers. Jharya coal field in Dhanbad stretches from west to east in the shape of a sickle. Experts say modern techniques can now be adopted to put out the inferno.
झरिया फायर ऊपर देखिए CMRA की तरफ से भी विस्तृत अध्ययन हुआ है और इसके लिए एक रिपोर्ट भी बहुत पहले बन चुकी है। स्थिति तो भयावह है लेकिन इस पर कंट्रोल पाया जा सकता है। तमाम सारे डिफेंसिव मेजर्स हैं जिन मेजर्स को लेकर के झरिया फायर पर कंट्रोल पाया जा सकता है।
Political response to this perpetual threat decides which party the people of the region vote for. Promises abound ahead of every election and they fade into virtually no action after votes are cast. The sitting MLA in Jharya is from Bihar. The constituency goes to polls in the third phase on the 14th of December. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, that's it in Verdict for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.